Good morning, everyone. I'm Marg from Creative Stamping with Marg. Thanks for joining me for another Wednesday video. Today we are going to be making a double accordion gatefold card. Saw that demonstrated and it's a really neat fold. I want to share that with you. I also have a few Stampin' Up! Items to talk about, so let's go down to my desk. All right. Trying to do that a little more seamlessly so it's not so squeaky. Hope that worked. All right, there you can see on my desk I have the new paper pumpkin flyer. This one's called Inked Occasions. Beautiful box again, same as March's. You need to subscribe before April the 10th, and the add-on dies are here for the next 3 months. So these are this is the April die, the word hugs, and May, it looks like a label, and June, it's a leaf and a flower. There they are cut out. And if you need, you can't add them on yet, I think. No, you can add them on now, sorry. 166238, 1650. I was thinking of something else. I did want to share with you, this was March's. Mine just arrived yesterday. This one is called Daisy Daydream. I just wanted to show you how beautiful the boxes are. I've opened it and had a quick look at it. I haven't done anything with it yet. The cards are going to be gorgeous. But again, beautiful box. Just like the next month is going to be in a beautiful box. And that gives you an idea of what some of the cards are going to be like. They will have that watercolor on them, I believe. All right, so that's Paper Pumpkin. And you'll also see on my desk 5 of our stamp pads. These are the outgoing 5 in colors. So when our catalog retires at the end of April and we get a new catalog, we will have 5 new colors coming. So these ones will be gone. So if you liked any of these colors, boho blue, pebbled path, moody mauve, wild wheat, and copper clay, then you should get your ink pads, your refills, ink refills, any of the cardstock, the blends, the markers, anything that you wanted in those colors, because they'll be gone. Okay, and they do go quickly. I am using copper clay today just as a bit of an ode to these colors. Also, I have a card kit to go, and it uses all 5 of these colors. So I'll give you a quick look at the cards. The cards are here. They're fun, all fun folds. You can see I've used Moody Mauve and Wild Wheat. I've used Boho Blue, Pebbled Path, and Copper Clay, and Wild Wheat. So those cards are the 4 cards that you would receive in the kit to go. You would get all the pieces, all the ribbon. The only thing I can't do for you is the stamping. So I used a variety of stamps to make these cards, so you can use anything that you have on hand. You'd get all the ribbon, all the gems. The kit price is $15, plus if I'm shipping it to anywhere in Canada, it would be an extra $5. It can be a porch pickup here in St. Albert, Alberta, and you would receive the PDF for it to put them all together. All right, so that's a card kit to go. If you're interested, you can message me on my store on my website, margaretgorn.stampinup.net, or you can email me at mrgorn, that's like Mr. Gorn, @shaw.ca. All right, so I'll put those to the side. I've done my stamping for my card as usual, so I don't need the colors. All right, so this card uses 1 full sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and I am using copper clay today. So your card base, the size is 5.5 by 9.5. So you're going to cut this, and if it was a full sheet, it would look like this, like that. So you're going to cut it, and you're going to get that piece, leaving a 3-inch wide piece, 3-inch by 11. So you're going to need that piece, so we're going to hang on to it. But this 5.5 by 9.5, we'll do some scoring on it. You can see I've already scored mine, but I just wanted to show you how it works. So you're going to turn this piece. You're going to score 1/2 inch on either end. So you can choose to do it however you like. 1/2 inch like this. So I'm at the 1/2 inch mark, score it. And at 2 5/8. So I'm moving it along to 2 5/8 and scoring it. And you're going to do exactly the same thing on the other end. So you just turn it around and you score it again. 1/2 inch, like this, and 2 5/8. So slide it along to 2 5/8 and score it again. Okay, that's all we have to do to that piece. Now, your 3-inch piece that was left over after you did your cutting, you're going to trim it. It's going to be 3 inches by 10 5/8 this way. So you just need to trim off your extra bit, which I've already done. Then you're going to put it in your trimmer with the long side at the top, and you are going to score it at 2 1/8. Just have to look here, 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. And you're going to do that on both ends again. So you take it out and turn it around and slide it back in, 2 1/8 and 4 1/4, like that. Okay, that's all that we need to do with that. Now I'll put my trimmer away. Now you will need a bone folder for sure. There's a lot of folding in this. We'll do the main card first. These 1/2 inch edges are going to be folded down like that. Do both of them. And I will burnish them, but we're going to do some trimming there in just a minute. I'll show you how that works. And then your card is going to be folded like a gatefold. So like this and like that. And burnish those score lines. Okay. Like that. Okay, so there's your gatefold, which you know, but we've got these extra little flaps. Now these flaps we need to do some trimming. So I have already measured in 1.5 inches and put a mark. I don't know if you can see my mark there. 1.5 inches there and 1.5 inches there, and the same on the other one. So you're going to need some scissors, and we're just going to trim those off because those are going to be holding our card. So on that little mark, I'm going to cut in, actually this way, sorry. It would maybe be better, sorry, I see I should have done it a little differently when I made my marks. Let's do that together. So I'm going to measure in 1.5 inches, but I'm going to put it on the score line as opposed to where I had it. So 1.5 there and 1.5 there. Turn it around and I'll do it on the other end. 1.5 there and 1.5 there. Just, I did it this time, sorry, right on the score line instead of on the edge, and that makes it easier because I want to angle cut right up to that mark. So I'm going to do it like that. So you can see how I cut that, like that. And then these little pieces that are left over on the top and the bottom, I am going to cut right off. Now you can use your trimmer. I just use my scissors. And you're just going to go right in the score line there. Cut them off. Off like that. So what you're left with is this little flap, which is going to hold our other little card. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Like that, and cut them off. And like I said, you could use your trimmer if you wanted. I just find it just as easy to use my scissors to cut them off. So those pieces are garbage. All right, so now that's what it looks like. Just got these little, I will trim this. I didn't do a very good job of trimming this one. I will trim it a little bit. I find you have to go on the inside of the score line, if that makes any sense to you, so that you don't have any of that showing. There we go, that looks better. And if there's any pencil marks showing, they won't show when we're done. All right, so there's what our card base looks like that. Now, the other piece that is 3 by 10 and 5/8 and scored at 4 1/4 and 2 1/8. It is going to look like, I have to just think about it. It has like 5 panels. This panel here is the inside. So then I know that it's going to fold this way and then back like that. That's the way it's going to look in our card. So fold it in and back like that. All right. So that's what that's going to look like. Okay. All right. I think the best way to do this is to add our DSP and everything to it. So we'll start with the big card. You need something in the back that is 4 by 5 1/4, some piece of designer series paper. This is the paper I chose from the Country Woods. Is that what it's called? It has all the wood pieces. Country Woods designer series paper. So it was this piece, reversing over to this. I needed something that would go in the back here. You're not going to see a lot of it because this is going to be sitting on top, if that gives you a bit of a visual. Okay. So that can go in, and we also need, I'll just show you all the DSP pieces so that you know what we're working with here. I am using, sorry, I've got to get all my pieces are all cut on top of my paper here. All right. This works really good with any of the Stampin' Up! Paper that has, when we get the 12 by 12 sheets that have almost like a border print along the bottom and the top. This works really good with that, and I'll show you with the card that my sample card. So I'm using Nests of Winter for my main paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this Country Woods paper there, and Nests of Winter I am going to use, sorry, I've lost a piece here. Here we go. This is the piece I'm going to put here and here, like that, and that had the birds on the other side, the little birds, but I wanted the stripes going this way just to give it a little bit more interest. The wood went this way, the stripes are going this way. So we can go ahead and glue this all together. So I'm using my Tombow liquid glue and gluing this in. Again, you're just centering these things. Okay, so I'll move these out of the way. Just centering this in the back here. There wasn't didn't have a good choice for the inside of this card from the Nests of Winter. I just liked what I chose here for the background. So we're going to glue this one in. Oh, and I didn't tell you the sizes of these, sorry. These DSP pieces are 5 1/4 by 1 7/8. So 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. And sorry, I don't have that in there quite right. I'm trying to match it up to the wood grain too, along the top and along the bottom there. So you need these two. You also need 2 more for the front side of this that are the same size, 1 7/8 by 5 1/4, but I chose a different print for that, and I'll show you because that's the part that shows on the outside of the card. So when we close our card, I'm just going to tuck those in for now. We're going to have pieces here which are the same size. So what I chose was this piece, and I actually cut it. It is the same piece, but they're 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. They're going on the front sides of this. So one here and one here. All right. They don't have to match because you're not going to notice, put it that way, but I just had that piece and thought it looked really good. So I'm using these pieces. I am putting them on next. So you can see there's a lot of pieces and a lot of gluing, but it's really, I like the finished product. It is a fairly thick card. So I'm not sure if you're mailing it, if it would need extra postage, but it would be a great card to hand deliver for sure. And I think it'll work for many occasions. and lots of different papers. All right, so get these on. So just like that. So that's our card base pretty much done. Now we're going to add our other little card. So it comes in like this. And again, I'm decorating all the pieces before I put it together. So I have 4 different pieces that are 1 7/8 by 2 3/4. So I've got 2 striped green ones, sorry. And I have 2 with the birds on them. And I have, you'd need a white piece here to do any writing. So do I have that white piece? I did cut it, I know I did. Just a minute, let me see if I can find it. It is, where? I did cut it because I'm using the, oh, it's on the floor. I'm using the Something Fancy dies. These are still in the annual catalog as of till the end of April. I don't know if they're going to be a returning favorite or not, but they are on page 79 in the annual catalog. And these are the ones that have these fantastic dies with all the sizes. And so I use the biggest die, the shape, to cut myself a white piece. And that's what I'm using to put here to do any writing on. So that can be, if you're doing any stamping, it's not going to be a lot of, there isn't going to be a lot of room to write. If you wanted to write more, you could always add a white panel on the back and write on the back. I chose to just do this. And this is going to be a birthday card. And I am just leaving it blank for now. I'm not doing any stamping on it. So I'm going to attach this into here. And it does just exactly fit here, which I thought was kind of cool. So that's that. And then we can glue these on. Now this is going to, just to give you a visual, this is going to go in here like this and be attached to our flaps. So it's going to close up and it's going to look, sorry, my flaps are in the way here. It's going to look, I can't get it to work. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's going to look like this. That's how it's going to look. You can have it folding either way. So however, I'm right-handed, so when I'm opening the card, I'm thinking I want this to be pulled this way first. You can do it either way. It doesn't matter. But you kind of have to decide which part you want to have your greeting on. And I'm going to have my greeting on the right-hand side. So I am going to put the birds on the inside and the green on the outside here. So let's get those pieces on. You just have to plan this a little bit in your mind, what papers you want to use. But the outside, being it's going to be covered up with my greeting piece. And by the way, this is another die from the Something Fancy. This is this one. Was it the biggest one? No, maybe the middle one. It's this one, the small one. And I just, you'll wonder about the stamping I did on it, but I'll share that with you in just a second. And I did use another die. I did use this die to cut some of the birds out because I'm going to decorate one of the flaps with that. So this was this one. Okay. And I will go ahead and glue this other green one on. So again, these pieces are 1 7/8 by 2 3/4, just to fit on here. You can't add, I didn't think you could add any extra layers behind these because it's going to be really thick. All right. So then these ones I want on this side. So I'm going to plan these a little bit because I'm going to put these little birds here. So I guess it doesn't really matter. Those little birds there as a decoration. You see those? Sorry, I'm out of the... So I use this fun hexagon die to just cut out of the paper the little birds. And then this is my happy birthday. So it's going to go here. And I cut it out of that one. Now, I used a new stamp set called Delightful Wishes. I used it last week, so you might have seen it. There is a stamp in here that is meant to I don't think you can see it. It's the branch. I need something darker to put it on so you can see it. It's the branch, and it has some blank spots in it to fit the flowers from this Delightful Wishes stamp set. So you can see it here. But I needed a branch for my little cutout bird. I cut out one of the birds. I wanted him to sit on here, so I thought I need a branch. He looked just kind of lost when he was sitting on there all by himself. So I thought I'm going to put him on here somehow, and I just needed a branch of some sort. So that's what I did. All right. I tried some die cut branches, some punched branches, some leaves, and I didn't like any of them. So I think that was my solution to this. So that's what I'm going to put on here. I'm not putting him on a dimensional, this little bird that I cut out of my paper, because this card, like I said, is very thick already. So I think I am just going to place him on there like that. So a little bit of glue on his back. And there's lots of different choices for birds to cut out too. You have lots of different choices in this paper, but I just like this guy. And this sort of mimics this one on the front. Same kind of bird. All right, so I had him placed something like that. Okay, so he looks like that. So you can just see that branch sticking out, but it worked. It worked for this. So I'm going to glue that onto here. Again, I'm not using any dimensionals for this. And I also stamped Happy Birthday on here, which comes out of the Something Fancy stamp set. And you can see that it's happy on top and birthday underneath. And of course that die is all in one line like that. But there's enough of a space between the happy and the birthday that I was able to stamp happy by itself, clean it off, re-ink, and stamp birthday underneath. So that worked out good. I liked it because it's a nice little greeting, and it needed to fit on my little die cut there. All right, so now let's get these birds glued in. And like I said, I didn't think it mattered which bird I put where. I could put that one, it doesn't matter. I think I'll do this the way I had them. And it is kind of a masculine card. I don't know if you would send it to a guy or not, but with the birds and the color, I think it's a nice one. All right. There we go. Now, if you're new to my YouTube videos, the directions for this will all be underneath the video. And you can check it out there. All right, I'm going to glue these little birds on here. And I just thought, made a kind of an interesting decoration for this as opposed to just cutting the birds out. So I think I will do it like that. So just a little glue on here. And so that avoids the fussy cutting if you didn't want a fussy cut. And you could have done exactly the same thing on the other side. If you didn't want a fussy cut out this bird, you could have just put one of these on. Just going to put them up at the top there like that. And then this little, I think this one is a chickadee. Not sure if that little brown one is a sparrow. Kind of looks like a sparrow. And I'm saying the other bird that I fussy cut out is a robin, but again, I'm not actually a bird person that I would know all those answers, but there we go. So there's our other part of our card. Now to put this together, these flaps I used tear and tape on. I think you could use Seal or Seal Plus on them because I think it just needs to be something quite strong so that it'll hold that little card, because it does get opened and closed that way. You'll see in just a second when we get this put together. I'll share that with you. And if you are putting any gems or anything like that on, I would just be cautious that it doesn't stick out too much because you'll see how thick this card is. All right, so let's just get that burnished down and take my paper off here like that, and the paper on this side. So this definitely, whoops, does take a little bit more time possibly to make, but it is fun, and it is a great way to utilize your paper. And like I said, this is an outgoing paper. So this back panel, the white panel, the 5th panel, is going to be glued onto the back of our card like that in the center. You're going to center it as best you can. So what I did is I just put glue on the back of that, and I'm just going to close this up, and I'm looking at it like this and centering it as best I can, trying to make it straight. Okay, just like that. Sorry, now I got sticky fingers on there. Okay, so that's like that. Then you are just going to close your card. Fold this in, fold the flap in, close your card like that, and put it down. Do the same with this one. Fold it in, close your card, and put it down. And there's our card, like that. So, pretty simple to put together. Stands like that. And if you want to look at the mechanism, you don't see it. It's actually on the inside. It's in here, that little flap. I don't think you can really see it in there, but that's where it is, so it's hidden. Now, I did my sample differently. I didn't tuck it in the inside. It was on the back of these, but you can't really see them unless they turn the card over. But that's the way it goes. And like I said, it can be folded either way. But because I'm right-handed, I have it this way because I think when I open a card, I'm going to open it this way first. So that's entirely up to you how you do it. But that's the card. So I did bring some gems in, and I brought in the Earth Tone Shimmer gems that look like this. Again, this is hard to see. I will turn it this way. They look like that. Again, that's not the greatest to see, maybe here. So they're saying that this is copper clay, which is very light, and there's garden green. And because I used the green, I think I will put the green on my card. And these are very flat. There's 2 sizes, so I'm going to just have them on, not on the flaps, just on here. So I think I'm just going to put them up like that. And then, whoops, 2 small ones, if I can pick them up. Maybe here, and there, just like that, just to give it a little interest, but they don't stick out too much, so that shouldn't be a problem. But you can see this is a fairly thick card, so I'm not sure if it would require extra postage. Possibly it would. And I did see another demonstrator who had like a belly band around this, but I don't think that's necessary myself. But you could tie a ribbon if you wanted, and the recipient could just take the ribbon off. So there's the card, leaving you a little bit of room to write. And this lays flat, so you can write, no problem. Like I said, if you needed more space to write, you can always put a white piece on the back. All right, so let's put that there. It won't stay closed, unfortunately, for the pictures. I will show you my sample card, which was done from the zinnia paper, if you remember that paper. So this one was done with lemon lime twist on the back, and this paper was the bordered paper. The 12 by 12 sheet had the flowers going across the bottom, the flowers going across the top with white in the middle. And so this is a good one for this, I thought. And it opens this way. I did a lot of fussy cutting, cut the flowers out, cut some more flowers for that flap, and it goes like that. So that turned out really good. I really like that. And just so you can see, there's my notes there, just so you can see, this is, I had the flap on the outside here. It got smarter when I did it this time, and I tucked them in the inside so you don't see them. Not that it's that big a deal. I don't think that anyone's examining your cards quite that closely, but they could be. All right, so that's the double accordion gatefold card. And it was Stamping with Tammy that I saw demonstrated, but I've seen other demonstrators do this card also. So that's what they look like when they're closed, and they do fit in an envelope. Like I said, I didn't put any gems on this one. Again, if I was going to, I would put them on the gatefold part, not on this part, because then it sticks up even more. All right, so that's how they kind of look when they're sitting and standing. They stand up nicely. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. Remember about our outgoing in colors, and my kit to go using all of those colors is available now for anyone that wants it. All right, look forward to hearing from you, and I hope everybody has a good week.